Hey everyone, my name is Jermaine and welcome back to the Reading Room for Kids. I'm so glad to have you here. Let's dive into another wonderful story.
And today's book is called Curious George Haunted Halloween. This year, George was spending Halloween in the country. The last autumn leaves were falling. George and the man with the yellow hat were busy raking. Mrs. Rankins rode by on her bicycle. Halloween's here. Hang on to your hats, she shouted. Happy Halloween, Mrs. Rankins, said the man. George was curious. Why would he need to hang on to his hat? George went to the Rankinses' farm. There were so many pumpkins. His friends Allie and Bill were there too. Hang on to your hats, said Bill. George and Allie were confused. Why is everyone saying that? Have you heard the legend of the no noggin? Bill asked. They haven't. Then Bill told the spooky story. A long time ago, there was a scarecrow perched on an old lonesome tree. It had a big pumpkin for a head and a top hat. But one Halloween, the pumpkin went missing. From then on, everybody called the scarecrow No Noggin because it had no head. No Noggin was angry. What good was a hat without a head? That's why every Halloween night, No Noggin shows up and kicks people's hats off. George was spooked. A headless scarecrow ghost? Don't worry, said Bill. Just make sure you hang on to your hat on Halloween. George went home with his pumpkin. He wanted to see his friend and find out more about No Noggin. It's just a legend, George, said the man. A tall tale, a ghost story. It's not real, but George wasn't so sure. George and his friends decided to carve the jack-o'-lantern. George tried to get his mind off of ghosts, but he needed to know if No Noggin was real. The next night was Halloween. George and Allie were hiding near an old lonesome tree. They were going to catch No Noggin on camera. Suddenly, they saw a shadow. Could it be No Noggin? George took a picture, but it was only Bill in his wizard costume. Then George and Allie had an idea. Bill could help catch No Noggin with a wizard hat. Bill stood near an old lonesome tree. He walked back and forth, waiting for No Noggin to kick his hat. Suddenly, Bill's hat flew off his head. George and Allie chased the moving hat into a cave. Inside the cave, they found Bill's hat and Jumpy Squirrel and lots of other hats, all filled with acorns. There was no headless scarecrow. It had been Jumpy all along. Jumpy and his squirrel friends had taken the hats to collect acorns. George and his friends had solved the mystery. They even had proof to show everyone the truth about the legend of No Noggin. Well, maybe after Halloween. Now it was time for George to put on his costume and join his friends for trick or treating. And that is the end of this story. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you for the next one.